pressing the ministers, because for you are staying.
Okay, can you continue with the opposition?
But they keep walking there. Madam Speaker, I want to start with the report of the Auditor General. The Auditor General, in his latest report, mainly on page 19 to 24, he speaks about supplementary requests. And this is what he said. I want to quote him. Continued approval of supplementary budgets without a corresponding increase in revenue financing could be attributed to fiscal indiscipline, which leads to increased funding gap affecting the area budget objectives. So the Auditor General reports, and I will use the year 2022-2023 because his report is on that year. For example, that in that financial year, with supplementary included, the total budget was 52.5 trillion. That's the total budget that you Parliament approved with the supplementary. But there was only 43 trillion. That is the financing that was realized at the end of the financial year. You first approved the budget of 48 trillion. Then you had 4.4 trillion in supplementary, making the total budget 52 trillion. But the financing available, money from taxes and borrowing, was actually 43 trillion. What the Auditor General is warning this Parliament against is that each time you pass a supplementary here, you give a license to Honorable Musasizi and his group to remove money from items you have approved and use it on their new priorities. That's what the Auditor General is saying. That's point number one. So approve this supplementary knowing that the money you approved earlier, first of all, the funding itself will not be realized, because by the end of the third quarter for this financial year, URA had collected just about 20 trillion out of a 29 trillion target. If they work so hard, maybe they will make them 23. So what the Honorable Musasizi will do is to remove money from the area priorities and then fund his new priorities. That's what will happen. So the second point, Madam Speaker, the budgeting through supplementary, which the Auditor General calls fiscal indiscipline. People are running this country like a kiosk. That every week, because last week you passed a supplementary here. What has happened in the last 10 days that you did not know that there will be a need to construct a stadium? There will be a need to acquire equity in the pipeline? Because you brought a supplementary just 10 days ago, we passed it here. Now you come trafficking another one. One time the late Speaker Oranya said if he was in charge, he would have sacked all the ministers. Maybe for me, I would even send them to Luzira. 10 days ago, you brought a supplementary here. Now after 10 days, you come running, oh wait, there is another one here. And you are my ministers. Each one of you will be in Luzira. That's where the warrant of detention will find you. So therefore, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
I want finally to go back to the law. The lawyers can help. If you go to section 76 of the public finance that categorizes items for which you can seek a supplementary funding, and section 25, 6 and 7 as unforeseeable and unavoidable. I want the planners in the ministry to tell me, when did you win the bid to host AFCON for you not to have factored the money of AFCON in the budget? And what is it going to happen between now? Because this budget that we are going to pass today, hopefully, is a budget that are going to implement in a period of 1 month. So what is it that you cannot wait, that is so urgent that you must fix it in a supplementary? So can I, Madam Speaker, I said I want to register my opposition to this motion, and those are the reasons. And these ministers, because you're also ministers of Uganda, these mistakes you make today, when this government has gone, one by one you should walk to Luzira. We'll find you there. Thank you very much, Madam.
Honorable government legal advisor.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I'll speak to the issue of ECOP. The issue of ECOP was actually unforeseeable because, as you all know, the financing model for ECOP was clearly to be done by our partners. Unfortunately, because of the change in the world order and economic setting, we have been required to put in equity. It was not known to us at the time we passed the past budget. On AFCON, the biggest requirement is actually a complication coming from my office. The contracts are available for me to sign, and I'm requiring the Ministry of Education to show me the source of fund before that contract can be signed. If Parliament is happy to wait until next financial year, the problem is we will lose timelines in as far as the deadlines to meet that. Unfortunately for me, the law doesn't allow me to approve a contract for signing without knowing the source of fund. So those are some of the reasons why we are here at this time.
Thank you.
Maybe just to add that, Honorable Semuju.
Honorable Attorney General, maybe as one of the prerequisites of us hosting AFCON was that we had to win CHAN. We had to win CHAN, which CHAN we just won last Friday. So now that we have CHAN, then we shall have AFCON.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for your support and addition. As I conclude, I just wanted to...
I am not debating, but I own a club in my school, which is one of the best clubs that is even representing the country in China.
But also, as I leave the floor, Honourable Semuju, the threat to send us to Luzira without trial is a bit unconstitutional. I'm just advising.
Honourable members, I want to thank you so much. This is a very simple supplementary which everybody understands. And I'm happy the person think and search. One is a beneficiary, one is... Honourable members, I put a question that the motion that the House resolves itself into a committee of supply to consider the supplementary schedule number 3 for the financial year 2023-2024 pursuant to Article 1562 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 and Rule 153 of the Rules of Procedure. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The supplementary expenditure schedule number 3.
Honourable members, before we go to the supplementary schedule to supply, committee of supply, can you first lay and the finance team goes?
Item 3, laying of papers. Corrigendum. Corrigendum to the national budget estimates for the financial year 2024-2025.
Madam Speaker and colleagues, I beg to lay the addendum and corrigenda to the draft estimates to the draft budget estimates for financial year 2024-2025. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Corrigenda.
Honorable members, the corrigenda was supposed to be late, but you know why I delayed it. You all know why I delayed it. You know why I delayed it, and now it is sorted. Wait, it is now sorted. I now refer that corrigenda to the Committee of Finance, Committee of Budget for harmonization, and report back in 2 hours to the House. Next.
The supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2023-2024, Committee of Supply. Vote 008, the Uganda National Oil Company.
I put a question that the sum of Uganda shillings 132 billion 634 million be provided for vote 008 Uganda National Oil Company as a development expenditure under the supplementary budget.
This is the subvention. You don't appropriate a subvention, you appropriate the vote. Then we shall supplement. You get it?
I put a question that the sum of Uganda shillings 132 billion 634 million be provided under vote 008 Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development as a development expenditure and a supplementary expenditure schedule 3 for financial year 2023-2024. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 166, National Council of Sports.
I put a question that the sum of Uganda shillings 152 billion be provided to vote 166 National Council of Sports as development expenditure and a supplementary expenditure schedule 3 for financial year 2023-2024. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 151, Uganda Blood Transfusion Services.
I put a question that the sum of 2 billion 500 million shillings be provided for vote 151 Uganda Blood Transfusion Services as a recurrent non-wage expenditure under the supplementary expenditure schedule 3 for financial year 2023-2024. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 514, Embassy, Uganda Embassy in Geneva.
I put a question that the sum of 1 billion 490 million shillings be provided for under vote 514 Uganda Embassy in Geneva as a recurrent non-wage expenditure and a supplementary expenditure schedule number 03 for financial year 2023-2024. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Toto.
I put a question that a grand total of Uganda shillings 288 billion 624 million be provided for as a supplementary expenditure schedule number 003 for financial year 2023-2024. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Minister.
Madam Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House do resume and the Committee of Supply reports thereto.
I put a question that the House resumes and the Committee of the Supply reports thereto. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of Supply.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of Supply has considered the supplementary expenditure for financial year 2023-2024, schedule number 3, and totaling to Uganda shillings 288 billion 624 million.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of Supply.
Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of Supply be adopted.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of Supply be adopted by this House. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Item 4, Bill second reading, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, remember we stood over this bill and we at committee stage. Honorable members, I put a question that the Honorable members, I put a question that the Exercise Duty Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the second time. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024, Bills Committee stage.
Yes,
Madam Chair.
Minister of Finance.
Maybe just to remind
Shadow.
colleagues, with your permission.
Honorable members, listen to Honorable Semuju.
Just to remind colleagues, with your permission, Madam Speaker, when we handled the tax bills, this one remained. And our issue, especially from this side, to which now I speak for, we reject increment of taxes, 100 on petroleum and 100 on diesel. because if I do a recap, we are correcting 141,450.
That is under clause what?
That's why I was seeking your permission. We will come to that, Madam Speaker. It's not ordinary, but I thought you allowed
What
me
I was
to.
saying, we are now in which clause?
We hadn't started. That's why I'm taking advantage with your permission to remind at least my side. So the one that is here to vote, they don't need to be reminded.
Honorable, why don't we move clause by clause? When we reach that clause, you raise that issue. Clause 1.
Clause 1.
Shadow. Clause 1. I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Clause 2. Masaba.
Chair, clause 2 is okay. Let's proceed.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say, and the contrary nay. I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Chair.
Honorable Chair, we are amending Clause 3, amendment of Schedule 2 to the Principal Act. Clause 3 is amended. A, in paragraph A, item 1. In item D, by substituting 12% with 10%. And 2, in item E, by substituting 12% with 10%. And B, in paragraph C, Right Honorable Chair, by deleting item A. 2, item B, by substituting shillings 5,000 with 2,500. And in item 3, in item C2, by substituting 100% with 80%, and shillings 5,000 with 1,700. C, in paragraph E, item 1, in item B, by substituting 12 with 10%. 2, in item D, by substituting 12% with 10%. D, in paragraph F, in item 6, by substituting shilling 75 with 50. E, in paragraph H, by deleting item E. Honorable Chair and colleagues, justification is to reduce the cost of opaque beer and any other alcoholic beverage in order to increase the tax base and also to make motor more affordable. And illuminating kerosene should not be exorbitantly taxed since it's being used to the low-income earners. I beg to submit, Honorable Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, my proposal is on G, which is cement, adhesives, grout, and white cement. My proposal is not to impose this tax and have this G deleted. I also propose that J, which is on withdraw payment services to do with digital withdrawal of money, I propose that J be deleted. I also propose, Madam Speaker, that we delete H, all of it. No 100 shilling on petroleum, 100 on diesel, and then the whole of kerosene should go away. Right, Honorable Speaker, those are my proposals. And I invite Parliament to...
Martin?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I understand the bill is intended to reduce on taxes. Right Honourable Speaker,
To reduce or increase on taxes? You're saying that you don't have a road to Buzaya. The hospitals are not there. So you want a Kibwa, you need where, but what the people, what this is intended to do is to raise money to finance all those things that we are doing. So what Honorable Semuju is saying, that much as we accept some, let's not accept others. So we are also going to hear from this side. Honorable Semuju has presented, and that is that.
Thank you, Chair.
There is a procedure matter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My concern is that the Honorable Shadow Minister of Finance is saying we delete this, but then they are not providing alternatives. Because by the time the government brings a proposal, it anticipates correct money to support the budget that we're going to pass today. So as a Minister of Finance alternate, don't you think it will be prudent or procedurally right that when you say we delete, for example, the withdrawal charge, the 5% withdrawal charge, which we anticipate the government is going to collect 100 billion, don't you think it's also procedurally right that you bring an alternative where government can collect this 100 billion to cover the gap that you'd want to be deleted? Madam Chair, please guide.
Honorable members, one thing I want you to know, this is an engine of revenue collection to fund whatever you want as a country. So when you're bringing in a deletion, bring an alternative and say, if we're deleting here, let's replace this by increasing the tax base. Yes.
Thank you very much, Chair. On top of what my colleague, Honorable Semuju, proposed, I think he left out one item, which is deleting item F, which concerns mineral water, because this will lead to an increment on the price of mineral water, majorly those who sell water in bulk, the 20 liters, the 20-liter canisters. So I'm proposing...
Pardon?
Chair, on top of what Honorable Semuju suggested, I do suggest we delete part F on mineral water because it's going to make the cost of mineral water, those who sell usually the 20-liter, the bulk water, is going to become quite expensive. That is the target of this amendment. And then on the proposals of fuel, because Chair, the committee agreed and we were together with this, we were with the committee on this, to reject the increment on kerosene. I think that is
That's
okay.
deleted.
Yes. On our proposal to remove the 100 shillings on motor spirit, and that is gas and diesel, I do propose an amendment in section 8C of the Principal Act to increase item 8F of the Principal Act to increase Jet A and aviation fuel by 100 shillings instead of increasing on our petrol.
But Madam Speaker, if you allow me to answer directly, my colleague. First of all, we have appropriation that is coming next. In the budget, there are many things that we are proposing when we reach that stage to remove from the budget. A lot of wastage. This particular proposal is going to give you just 200 billion shilling. You can reduce that budget by 6 trillion. Useless things like special drinks and eats. So there are many things in the budget that we will propose to remove. Actually, we are going to make a lot of more money available. So you don't need this 200 billion shilling.
Honourable members, let's not anticipate. We are debating in anticipation. Yes, Kampala Central. Sechi, you will come.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, last financial year, when we tried to make proposals for increment of taxes on fuel, they were thwarted by the Ministry of Finance. And this was their reasoning. They said that when you increase the price of fuel, it will lead to inflation. And I would like to hold the Honourable Musasi accountable on this matter, last financial year. And the reason we were mooting then was that if we increased this levy on fuel, it would be translated, if well ring-fenced, on improvement on the budget of infrastructure directly. And I was imploring this House that what we had interacted with the voters or with the people was that they were not worried about necessarily increment on the levy of fuel. The issue is how we use it after. If it is not translated into their own infrastructure, then they are disinterested as one of the priorities. So Ugandans are not saying no to taxes. They are only saying to where is our money that we contribute in form of taxes. So that's why I was asking the Honourable Minister of Finance, even if you are to use the numbers to take this matter that 100 shillings and raise, let's say, 300 billion, is it going to be put directly on their infrastructure, or it's going to be put to wishful expenditure of donations, this and this, this and this? That is the issue Ugandans are talking about. Because whether we want it or not, Right Honourable Speaker, last financial year, around this time, the cost of a litre of fuel, let's say petrol, was at about 4,300 something. Today it's at about 5,000 something. So whether we put in the factorization of exchange rate, etc., the price of fuel has increased. Now the promise of government was that when we come in to become the sole buyers on behalf of Ugandans and sole importer on behalf of Ugandans, and we do away with the issue of middlemen, the price will come down. We came here and legislated towards that. Now, as we await for the price of fuel to come down, we are slapping voters with a tax. So where is the genuineness of the issue? Either we do not believe that the price of fuel will come down as a result of government becoming the sole importer on behalf of Ugandans. So if we all believe that the price of fuel will come down as a result of government being the sole importer of fuel on behalf of Ugandans, then there is no reason for slapping this price on fuel, because we shall save and use that other money for something else. But if we are genuine to Ugandans that, listen, this will happen, can we give Ugandans a commitment that all the money that we want to increase on the fuel levy will be directed to a fund that shall not be subject to these other hands, and you know what I'm talking about, that we come here and pick the money from the fuel levy and put it directly to other priorities. Right Honourable Speaker, I understand what, because, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to implore this House. The Minister of Works, both the senior minister and the junior minister, we are here saying, please give us more funds to do your roads. And we categorically asked from where. Now this is what they are presenting. But there is no proof that this money that we are going to add on the tax of fuel will be directly channeled to fund construction of roads. Day after day will be back here borrowing. So Ugandans are not saying we are not willing to pay, but they are only saying we cannot pay this money and enjoy potholes as others are using it for lavish activities.
Thank you. Search.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
After
Thank you
such-
very much.
After such, then we come.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker.
Honorable members, it is an agreed fact, the issue of kerosene, since it affects a local person down there, and since we removed the rear, and rear has failed, electricity has failed to reach to the villages, we are removing kerosene. It affects the local person who cannot afford to fuel a car, who cannot afford to do anything. Yes.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to start from a slightly different perspective. The impression being created as I was seated is that there is the proposal to delete the tax and there is the proposal to impose the tax. But what I want to put across is that already there is a tax. There is a tax, members. This is not to say that there is no tax. Because, for instance,
Sechi, there is a tax. What they are what they want to do is to make an increment.
that's why I'm coming. You see, Right Honourable Speaker, you have to carry members with you. And I'm building my case to that effect. As we stand now, there is a tax of 1,450 on petrol and 1,130 on diesel, meaning that already there is tax. So what the proposal here is aiming at is to add on the tax, so that now petrol we can have 1,550. And for diesel, it can rise to 1,230. And to me, actually 1,450. To me, honorable members, we have to go by the canons of taxation. And that's why I differ a bit. People are not saying they don't want to pay the tax, yes, but tax has to have a limit. And the more tax you impose, it has a negative effect. Because this addition you are making and you are imposing has...
Actually, what Sech is saying, the addition, when you look at kerosene and petrol and diesel, the increase is 100. But now when you look at the issue of kerosene, where there are so many people using kerosene down there in the villages, you're increasing it by 300 shillings. What mathematics was that? What was the basis of that increment?
Honorable Speaker, and I'm challenging the economists of this country. The tax you impose, you may have two principles, efficiency and effectiveness. The tax you impose must be effective and must be efficient. But what we have now, the burden shall be borne by the common person down on the ground. If you are talking about farmers, if you are talking about people from Chikubo, once you hike the price of fuel, it means the transport costs will correspondingly increase. It will mean that the bunch of banana the price will correspondingly increase. And that is not for the person who is a farmer down, but to the middlemen, because they want to cushion the cost of fuel. So to that extent, I'm telling you, the more you increase the tax, is the less demand you'll be creating. Because ultimately, this is having a multiplier effect across the economy. From the transport, from the produce, from the commercial entities in this country. Even those selling cattle, once a cost of each cow to be brought to the roofler here, and you touch on fuel, the transporters will extend the same to the person down there. Because vehicles have to move at the end of the day. We don't have the train transport.
It means at this stage, Right Honourable Speaker, and I would implore government, why don't we maintain the price as it is? It is already heavy. Businesses are closing. And the moment you touch on the operational cost, because fuel is in the operations, goods are not consumed at the place of production. They are transported. Inputs are transported.
Please conclude.
Inputs are transported. Even the final products are being transported. So, Right Honourable Speaker and members, I would urge government, and I would like to tell them that the tax, the way it is already too much. I know my people from Remiaga, some forego even coming to Kampala on very critical issues because they cannot afford transport to and fro. And now that we officially increase fuel, I'm telling you the taxes and buses are going to officially increase the transport fares and charges. And this is very negative on our communities. Let's remain with the tax the way it is. We can do something else, but not at this point in time when business is so bad and the economy is not doing well.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, it is our duty to advocate for our people on matters taxation. It is also our duty as members of Parliament to also help government raise money for the effective running of this country. Madam Speaker, I have been contemplating and thinking deeply whenever we have discussions on taxes. There is a very critical subject in this country that we do not want as politicians and leaders in this country to talk about. There is a question of a very huge wage bill in this country, and it eats much on our taxes. Madam Speaker, when you look at the wage bill in this country, I think it is time that this House and government we start having a very honest and very serious debate on matters wage bill in this country. Because a wage bill in this country, Madam Speaker, has an impact on tax, has an impact on debts in this country. And Right Honourable Speaker... Honourable
Wakoli
yes,
from
please.
Butiru.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Are you defending the issue of the taxes or you are...
But reasonable taxes for our people.
What is your suggestion? What is your suggestion?
A honourable member here was looking for proposals of how we can raise taxes. And it is in my considered opinion that if we also discuss, we have a discussion around the wage bill in this country, because a wage bill, Madam Speaker, in this country has the first call on our consolidated so we are saying that...
You're now on policy matters. We are in a yes, it is now actuals, really, Honourable.
Thank you,
Yes.
Honourable Speaker. Honourable colleagues, what is very apparent is the fact that...
Honourable members, listen.
Honourable colleagues, what is very apparent is the fact that over time, the trends are changing. If Uganda was 3 million, we have moved to the numbers that we have now, to almost 50-something. In terms of population, yes, we have not done the census, but we are more than 40. The needs of our country at the time, perhaps we enacted the laws on the relevant tax, were very different. But over a period of time, it has become very necessary for us to be able to raise money that can be able to sustain our economy and be able to help our population. I want to go with a suggestion that my colleague, Honorable Mohammed from Kampala, suggested. You see, we are having this increment go on the fuel, diesel, and the petroleum, petrol. But the suggestion he brought that the impact that our voters want to feel is that we should be able to ring fence and put this in our infrastructure. That's a positive suggestion for me. I would suggest the increment of this tax, but let it be going towards having that deliverable. Let Ugandans feel that we have covered, the tax has been increased, but it is addressing the issue of their roads. Complete. Yes, which should be very, very clear here. So, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to seek your... Let government be very true to its words that this money, the increment we're having on petroleum and diesel is going to help us to improve and be ring-fenced towards the roads. No. But the tax is not, but thank you.
No. Nathan?
Madam Speaker.
So you're using a proxy?
No, Madam Chair. No, I was waiting. And I'm very good, I'm a very patient person. Madam Chair, as the Honorable Sek said, it is not necessary that every now and then we should raise taxes so that we generate more. You can spur the economy and have more taxes. For example, let me give the demonstration of matoke. If I sell my matoke at 30,000 and I sell 10 bunches, I will get 300,000. It means I'll have more disposable income to spend. I'll buy sugar, I'll buy soap, I'll buy alcohol, and all these are already taxes. And before I go to that, because under fear, you're right. And Madam Chair, even if you are talking of the villager, even if he doesn't come to town, the sugar he's going to drink is being transported. Therefore, he will pay the 100 shilling, which is being added or not, on fuel. I want to plead with the government that why don't we make a trial? For the first time, we say we're not going to increase taxes on fuel. Yes. And see what will happen. I can tell you, the country will not collapse and there will be more income to tax because the transport costs will be lower and the people will be having disposable income to be able to spend on goods which already have indirect taxes like VAT.
Because there's a trickle-down effect.
Exactly.
There's information here. Yes.
Maybe just to inform you that the last time from my research, the last time taxes were increased on fuel was in 2021. So it's not correct to say that every year taxes are increased on fuel. So the rates we are using are 2021, just for your information.
Madam Speaker, I know my Attorney General.
It is I said, honorable members.
Not every time.
Honorable members. Honorable members. The last time it was increased by 100 shillings. That was in the financial year 2021-2022.
Madam Chair, I love you for that because my Attorney General, when he mentioned 2021, he was trying to mean that it was 2020/2021, and I was changing the rule. So Attorney General, so I went to plead, Attorney General. I never said every year, I said every time, and every time can be even 2 years, whatever. Madam Chair, I want to make a proposal here, and I want also to agree with my brother Karim, because J1 is used by Jet is used by, he never mentioned, I think when he meant 8F, he was meaning these local ones, which you go to Chisoro, go to Arua, because this one, if you don't also increase, it means for them, those who use planes will not pay taxes on fuel, yet they're also traveling. And that's what was his argument, which I wanted to make clear. But on the international flights, they are at nil. Because if we try to do international flights, we will be making it dangerous. So, Madam Chair, I want to make a proposal that...
I've seen my chair, Finance, looking at me. Right, Honorable Speaker, when you look at the Principal Act, they are different. The jet engine, the jet oils, the petroleum used by those foreign flights, and the ones used locally are different. And the amendment I suggested was for those that are importing into the country to be used locally. When you look at the international ones like Emirates and all that, they're all exempted. They're actually supposed to be at nil. So my proposal is that we look at increasing the one that is used locally. We are seeing people using these local planes to go to prom parties. So I think we need to target that fuel that is imported into the country to be used locally because the foreigners are exempted. So instead of us looking at putting that burden to our people who are using motor vehicles.
You know, I wanted to make a proposal because we are not looking bad. 100 shillings is a lot of money. Supposing we put 10 shillings, Attorney General, because you want some increments, supposing we put 10 shillings, instead of going to 100. What was the formula of 100? You see, what if you want some increment? Supposing we look at 10 shillings to maximum 50 shillings. And this will be a win-win situation. The second one, Madam Chair, the withdrawal charges of 0.5 on money.
There's a
Madam Speaker, for the time I've been here, I have been hearing members saying that you are not supposed to discuss a matter when you are a member of the committee. I am seeing Honorable is coming on the floor, and Honorable Masaba, and yet they are members of the Finance Committee, which discussed these taxes.
honorable members, we are at committee stage, committee of the whole house. So there is no problem. Even when you're a member, you can discuss. So there's no problem with that.
Speaker, that's why I always plead with you for induction, more induction for... So, Madam Speaker, I have one of the reasons we have raised already.
Give us a solution. Can we people move?
Yeah, we're moving. That's why we have the minority.
You'll sleep here.
So, Madam Speaker, Chair, I wanted to say, on this one, I wanted to ask the government to show you that we are happy to have you increase, but not go high. Let us say we add maybe between 10 to 50 shillings on this. Madam Speaker, I want also to make one proposal. On when you talk about these services of withdrawals, I met my brother Musasa was trying to convince me. But who are the main users of services? You members of parliament, you send money to your voters. You have sent 1 million. There will be a charge of 5%, 0.5. And what will happen? The money, instead of getting 1 million plus other charges, to your voters, to go and pay burials, to go and for weddings and whatever, it will be charging you, instead of 1 million, it will end up to be 900,000. It is you to pay. Also, when you send to your mother or your grandmother, that's what will be withdrawing. Madam Chair, in professional services, let me give an example of a valuer. The valuer, when it comes to charge, they charge 0.025% of the value. But this one of 0.5% is on a very high side. Already you are paying the charge for transfer, which is also subject to tax withholding excise duty, you are aware, and with VAT. I would also make a proposal that instead of 0.05%, Madam Speaker, instead of 0.5%, I want us to make a proposal that we make it 0.025% as the valuers do it. Madam Chair,
that is on which one? On mobile money?
On mobile money. The reason is simply...
mobile money is not in equation.
No, not by mobile money. The 0.05% charge.
There is 0.5% charge on the value of the transaction.
Yes.
That is not in equation.
No, we have a minority report.
Get information from your chair.
No, I know my senior has this information, but I'm just reminding him that the 0.5% on mobile money withdrawal is not an issue here. But rather, we are talking about agency banking withdrawal services. Okay? Now, what we are trying to do is that we bring parity, because same tax rule, like you say, same service, same rule. You realize, honorable colleagues, that agency banking agents do the same service for Airtel and MTN Momo withdrawals. So this, to bring parity in the economy, we propose that the 0.5% that is applicable for the mobile money be applied on agency money bank withdrawal.
Thank you. Let him qualify what is being said.
I think, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues, today there is a charge of 0.5% on withdrawal of money, cash, on mobile money. The purpose of this is to level the transactions between financial institutions and mobile money. Secondly, if you're transferring money electronically from one person to another, so for example, if Honorable Nandala sent money to the agent and asked the agent to put it on the mother's phone, that will not attract a charge. Just to clarify.
Thank you, Chair. What the Attorney General has said is right. What the Attorney General has said is right. Yes, there is a 0.5 charge on mobile money, which has been existing and it's not part of the amendment. So
withdraw.
Yes, on withdraw of the charge. Withdraw of cash, yes, I'm aware, and then there is 15% on the charge in the Principal Act. So I am well aware of that. The argument is these people who are doing agency banking, they have phones that they use for mobile money, and then they have machines that they use to withdraw from accounts, because those are transaction accounts from banks. It's as if I've gone to an ATM and withdrawn. So there is no 0.5 charge when I withdraw from my account using an ATM. But what you want to introduce is when you're withdrawing this agency banking who is using, because they use machines owned by the banks. Yes, so you want to charge me if I'm withdrawing via an agency banking, and then when I withdraw via the ATM, I'm not incurring this cost. I think that is where the argument should be.
You see, I just want to make a clarification, my senior. The clarification is that agency banking agent is not the same as a teller in a banking hall. That's the only difference. And yes.
Madam Chair, I want to tell you today that agent banking is an agent of the bank.
Yes, yes.
And what happens is you will never draw money at the agent when you don't have money on your account. What happened is the agent, the moment I go there, I want to withdraw 1 million, he will first confirm, they have a mechanism to confirm that money is on my what? My account. If I don't have the 1 million, I will not be paid the what? The money. And mobile bank, you asked me and I'm coming to you. The agent, I will give let us demonstrate. Amos, our chair of finance, is the agent of Centenary Bank. He has been authorized to receive money and pay money. I go there, I want to draw 1 million. Amos will only give me money if he has confirmed money is on my what? Account. And the moment Amos give me 1 million, it will charge my account immediately in the what? In the bank. Immediately it will charge. I pick my 1 million, I put in the what? In the bank. If I went to the Centenary Bank ATM, it will be the same. I'll just put in my ATM, I get my 1 million, and it will be, not only the charge I may have is the ATM what? Charge. And that's where we're saying, where the agent is involved on money related to the bank, there is no way. Okay.
Honorable members, honorable members,
information.
Honorable members, when you look at the payment system, to answer what Honorable Nwagaba was saying, payment services of withdrawals of cash provided through payment system including withdrawal services provided by financial institutions or microfinance deposit institutions. That would be the answer to what Wilfred is saying. But now you're saying, but does not include. That was, it was amended.
Yeah, it was amended during presentation, Right Honorable Speaker.
That, how would it look like?
Does include, not does not. But I just wanted to make
Is it
one...
in the committee's amendment?
Yes. It
What does it say? Read your amendment.
Right Honorable Speaker, the amendment is to introduce, and I remember, Right Honorable Speaker, when I read this, I even repeated myself for
It
clarity.
was in the report, but not in the amendment at committee stage.
Attorney General, just 1 minute. Attorney General, 1 minute. 1 minute.
let me-
Madam Chair, if you remove this
Can,
now. No, if
can
you-
Attorney General inform?
No, it's coming, Madam.
Please.
No, just small for help. If the committee now, for purposes of say, deletes this, it means now when I go to the counter to withdraw money, I will be subjected to 0.5% of the value. No,
No.
you remove. You see, check. Yeah, it says,
Wait, you first
payment
wait and
service
get...
of withdrawals of cash provided through a payment system. A payment system means even at the counter is a payment what? System. Now when you delete this, I go there to draw 10 million, I'll be subjected to 0.5% of the value. This is here.
You first...
If you leave it like this, better. Yes, you leave it like...
Yes.
Honorable colleagues, the matters dealing with the financial institutions, the banks, are in 14 of the Principal Act, not in the amendment. 14. Ledger fees, ATM, withdrawal fees, and periodic charges, and other transactions and non-transaction charges, excluding loan-related charges periodically charged by financial institutions, is 15% of the fees charged. It's already there.
This one applies.
No, we are saying that for the members were saying, let's add the banks. And I'm saying no. The banks are already being charged under 14. We are now saying, yes, listen to me. The banks are already being charged under 14. Mobile money is being charged under 13. But agent banks, agencies are currently not charged. So while
Chair,
Honorable Masaba.
Thank you very much, Chair. The Attorney General, what the Attorney General is saying, actually the Attorney General is misinforming this House. When you look at 14, they're charging 15% on the fees. Still, when you go to 13D, I don't know if you look, 13D, it's also 15% on the fees. Still, they are charging 15% on mobile transactions, 15% on the fee that the bank charges, and the fee that the mobile money company, MTN, charges you. That is the percentage. Now, the amendment is introducing a 0.5, a fee on the amount that you withdraw. That you withdraw with cash from the agency banking. So unless, if the Attorney General is saying, we amend Section 14 as well to include, which they are refusing, obviously. So then let us leave the way it is, because now we are introducing another fee on people who are withdrawing from agency. Because if I'm operating an agency banker, a management banker, I will have my mobile phones that I use for mobile money transactions, and it is charged automatically.
Just take my clarification. AG, Madam Chair, this is a legal clarification. Honorable Attorney General, I want us to refer, Madam Chair, Honorable Musasizi, and thank you, Madam Chair and honorable colleagues. Now, The matter creating confusion here is the two services. The justification is that there is one running mobile money and another one running agency banking.
Now
let's go.
agency banking is run by microfinance institutions and banks. Then Money Mobile is run by MTN and Airtel. So each of them has a principal.
That's where I want to go. That is where I want to go. And now the issue here is that one is regulated under the Financial Payment Services Act. And the other one, I'm building the point.
You should also remember that Airtel and MTN, they are also split. There's a company that deals with mobile money transactions and the one that deals with telecommunication. So it's still, it goes into what
MTN, whether they split or not. You made it to continue.
Okay, thank you. What was split is the license. One license is for the carrier, the operator of voice and data, and the other one is for the operation of financial services. Now, coming back to the... Just a second. Mobile money, who are agent bankers. Agent bankers, in principle, are only performing a duty for and on behalf of a financial institution called a bank. And the duty they are performing is that where you cannot reach, or at times you cannot work, then I step in for you, and I pick up these funds, I deposit them. On depositing them, I have a charge from the bank. But also on picking them, you want to slap another 0.5%. Now, let's look at what would be detrimental by introducing this tax. One, if I had 4 outposts, maybe I had one in Morolinga, where there is no brick and mortar bank, then I say, since the services are very expensive, let me retreat to the town. Now, I deny those ones in Morolinga financial inclusion. The issue is not how much we shall collect. The issue is how much shall we fail to do the banking. Right, Honorable Attorney General, what we ought to see that mobile agency bankers are only helping you to extend banking services where brick and mortar banks necessarily cannot reach. So by slapping this tax, it means you're reducing on their income directly. So it becomes detrimental. If it becomes detrimental to my income, therefore I reduce the number of posts in mobile agency banking that I use. At the end of the day, people will keep money in houses. They will not be captured in the digital financial inclusion services. And the answer is zero. That's why I wanted us to draw a distinction that MTN, as a mobile money receiver, does not do necessarily banking services. It only receives and helps you. What this one does is I receive where you can't reach, I relay, but I'm already charged for this deposit. When the customer deposits this money, the deposit charge is already taken. So if you include 0.5%, it will also be translated to the customer again.
Honorable members, I want to understand this from the chair. In my thinking, we are trying to increase the tax base. And increasing the tax base, we are bringing the cheaper cash, we are bringing in the mango, the fintechs. Are those the kind of things we are bringing? But insulating commercial and microfinance deposit-taking institutions, is that what you're doing?
Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Chair, that is very true, and you're correct. And if you wish, I may read even the detail of how the report was done. The committee observed that the proposal to amend is intended to provide for an equal tax treatment to that of mobile money for payment services that offer similar services to mobile money. These payment services include cheaper cash, waiver transfer, among others, And at present, the withdrawal from these services are not subject to the same excise duty as that levied on mobile money.
With the exception of financial institutions
Yes.
and microfinance deposit-taking institutions. It is what we want.
Right Honorable Speaker, you are very right. An agent banker is not
You see, the rules are very clear. You seek information from someone holding the floor. You jumped saying clarification. You want it from who?
Thank you, Right Honorable Semuji. I was informing.
Honorable members, I think there is only one person who has understood this. That is, you first. No, you first wait. Karim, you first. You know what you brought? Agent banking. You cannot go and charge agent banker. Like a bank. You can't. What we are saying, all other services that operate like money mobile, like cheaper cash, like Mango, like fintechs, those are the ones that should be brought together to harmonize to be like mobile money. No, they are not.
Chair. Chair.
Yes.
Yes. Chair, thank you very much, Chair. But
can I have
Chair, information. Yeah.
present?
Thank you, Chair. That clarification now is making the issue quite clear, because people have resorted from mobile money to apps like cheaper cash and all
Yes.
that. But the challenge, the way they had brought it, it was capturing those who are withdrawing through agency banking, not the app. Yes.
Repeat.
Yes, Chair, that is
Repeat
right.
your statement. Repeat your statement. It is not financial institutions.
Madam Chair, information. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, like you've requested, let me repeat.
You want to know?
The committee observed that the proposed amendment is intended to provide for equal tax treatment to that of mobile money for payment services that offer a similar service to mobile money. These payment services include cheaper cash, wave transfer, among others. At present, withdrawal from these services are not subject to the same excise duty as that levied on mobile money.
Just a second. Mr. Chair, I want you to tell me, if money is sent to you through wave, how do you withdraw it? Because you see, the aggregator of your funds that are sent electronically is through mobile money. Therefore, at the end of the day, the mobile money charge is transferred to you. Because there is no single outpost that tells you that you can... Just a second. The moment you receive money through send wave, for example, is from abroad, then it steps into your money. You can only convert that wallet into cash by presenting it to a mobile money agent.
Information. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, what the government needs to help Parliament with, we've spent a lot of...
Just a minute. There is a way we've perceived this. We need to change our mind to accept what is reality. We have perceived, we are insisting, we are going to be charged, an agent banker is going to be charged. That is not correct. If there is an agent banker of Centenary, of Stanbic, of where, that is not correct. They are not going to charge it. We are charging the system. You get it, eh?
Yeah. But, Madam Chair, the point I wanted to make, and I guess it will help. If you look at the certificate of financial implication, for this bill, the total amount to be realized is 205 billion. And I think largely the money is on petroleum and diesel. We've spent half a day discussing maybe something that we will yield not even $1 billion shilling.
Through payment system.
Yeah. So my proposal is to tell Parliament to know exactly what each measure will yield. So the one that is not going to yield too much, we can forego it.
Right, Honorable Speaker. The issue I want to present to members as I take back the floor.
Honorable members, under 13A, payment services. Honorable Minister, I want us to look at this and say payment service of withdrawals of withdrawals of cash provided through payment system does not include withdrawal of financial services, financial institutions or microfinance deposit-taking institutions and the agents and their agents. We add and their agents. Yes.
I would like to improve this proposal, to put this on floor also for discussion. Payment services of cash withdrawals provided through a payment system and includes all withdrawal services provided by financial institutions or a microfinance deposit-taking institution other than withdrawals at the counter inside a banking hall.
That is worse.
Right, Honorable Speaker, you can see the level of confusion of the minister. Okay,
Chair, can we have your attention?
Okay, the level of inaccuracy.
Chair.
The level of inaccuracy. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, there are things we must secure.
There's a procedural matter.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm praying that you guide this House when we are processing this bill. It's going to be implemented by the Minister himself with his technical people. You can see the interpretation that he has. It is totally different from the intention of the legislature. At this particular stage, he is confusing us. Why don't you guide the House? Or I am praying that you guide the House. You guide the House. We actually delete this entire clause as it is because we are going to cause trouble to Ugandans when we
Honorable members,
when we allow the minister to move from this House with any form of amendment.
Honorable members,
because
it's okay. Honorable members, listen to this amendment. First, listen to my amendment.
Thank you very
First,
much.
listen to my amendment.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And what the minister was suggesting would be suicide. It would mean we all stop using the ATMs and line up on the bank, in lines in the banks, to avoid paying this 0.5.
Bring the amendment.
So my amendment, my proposal would be, or I propose that we amend as follows. Payment of services of withdraw cash provided through payment systems, but does not include withdraw services provided by financial institutions, microfinance deposit-taking institutions, and agents of financial institutions. That is agency banking. We will have excluded them.
Yes.
That is.
Those in favor say on the contrary, nay? The ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I have something to state. At least listen to me. At least listen to me. Listen to me. Yes, listen at least. Don't deny me the right to tell you something. You might object it, but listen. Thank you. The Honorable from Hoima is insisting that no, but I have no problem with him. Since the Right Honorable Speaker, you've allowed. When we talk about financial payment services,
thank you very much,
Madam Chair.
I'll take the procedure.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Which procedure?
Chair.
You allowed me to speak.
Chair, thank you very much. Chair, the procedure issue is, Chair, this is a committee of the whole House. But the discussion is going on with members of the committee only. We here, we raise up, Madam Chair. For example, I stood up to give information. I have a teacher who told me he withdraws money using an app from the bank. A teacher uses an app to withdraw money from a bank. Now this, every time she withdraws money, she is charged money, a tax on that app. When that money goes to withdraw, she is supposed to access it using mobile money. Again, every time she withdraws money from the mobile, she is taxed. So that is double taxation. So every time you go for these other applications, because that's what you're targeting, you're going to double tax this person. He pays a tax on the app, he pays a tax on mobile money. But when we raise up, you don't give us chance. Thank you.
Patrick, Honorable Patrick, that is in the law. So if they are being charged, it is in the law. Withdraw charges. Even me, I'm charged. It is not only that teacher.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Now that the procedural point of our colleague has been disposed of.
Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member. Now, you wait. Let him finish his issue. Then another person comes.
Right Honorable Speaker, when we talk about payment services, I heard clearly why the Honorable Minister wisely said that he was targeting issues like of startups like cheaper cash and SendWave. Now, you must understand why people, mainly in the diaspora, use these applications to remit funds home. And you must understand that one of the biggest income earners, revenue earners to this country, that has grown our economy is the remittances. Yes, no, I'm talking about the remittances that he talked about. Now, Right Honorable, you'll come, you have a substantive part to debate here. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue we are talking about, when you target SendWave, when you target SendWave,
I just want the record to be clean. The Honorable Chair put the question and it was passed. So, yeah, but we are saying, are we recommitting? Because we need to be clear as to what we are doing.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members.
Let me put my point.
Honorable members. You know, Honorable Medi is an IT person. And he's giving us information. He's giving us information about what happens in the IT system. Just like Sechi is saying. He's creating but of course that part passed, but give us information in 1 minute.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Maybe you'll get the feedback from also the public that uses this later, so that you actually know what you've exactly passed. So if you target things like SendWave, these applications are used by people normally outside this country to send funds back home. And the rationale was that platforms like Western Union, ETC were extremely expensive. Now, the young people came up with these innovations to try and lower the cost of remitting funds home. Now, what happens if you slap 0.5% of the value of the transaction? That means if I send, this here is 0.5% of the value of the transaction. It means when I send 1 million shillings home, how much is deducted? 0.5%. And you know what it means if I've sent this money to construct my house? If I've sent money that I was remitting on a salary loan, and I'm a kadama somewhere or a house assistant working somewhere.
Let's finish. Please finish.
Working somewhere. I'm trying to show you the impact of what is being introduced, Right Honorable Speaker, and respectfully. And what I'm saying in this way is that what you're going to bring about is the black market that it will introduce. And what will happen is put my money in Dubai here and I receive it from Chikubo somewhere. And it will create dangers and a bypass. Let me finish my point. You raised your point. So what I'm trying to say, that deleting in order not to deter these services is that when you put in your numbers, an example, Right Honorable Speaker, if you're sending through SendWave, you issue the number of the customer you're sending. And the aggregate on behalf of SendWave would be, let's say, Airtel or MTN. Therefore, the charges already there that are instituted by Airtel as a mobile money aggregator are carried, and now this will be a secondary charge of 0.5%.
Procedure. Information. I want to give my colleague information. I have been using, Chair,
Honorable members, honorable members, I put a question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by Honorable Karim and Honorable Chairperson. Those in favor say to the contrary. 13. It is clause 3. Clause 3. I put a question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by Honorable Karim and Honorable Chair. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3 as amended.
I put a question that clause 3 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that the House do resume and the committee of the whole House reports there too.
Honorable members. We deleted kerosene. Honorable members, can you sit? It was what he just said. What's wrong with you people? Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members, there is a procedural matter.
Madam Speaker, so the clause.
Oh, Sarah, stop.
Madam.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members.
But you had allowed me to raise the procedure.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. Resume the House.
Motion for resumption of the House.
I put a question that the House resumes and the committee of the whole House reports there too. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the bill entitled the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024 and passed it with amendments.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of the Whole House be adopted.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of the Whole House be adopted by this House. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Bill's third reading, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024.
Clerk, motion to recommit.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recommit clause 3 to deal with the proposals, actual amendments that I had proposed, including deleting the proposal to impose an additional tax on petroleum and diesel, on building materials and mineral water. So I move.
Seconded. I'm looking at those who are seconding. Seconded by Saro Pendi, by okay, speak to your motion.
Madam Speaker, just
give you specific explanation and then alternatives to
yes,
to raise money.
Just to reassert what I have already said, and many members have said. We are already charging a tax 1,450 on petroleum, on petrol. Charging per liter, charging 1,300 on diesel. If we impose another tax, we are going to cause a lot of damage to the economy itself, because you have transportation almost of everything that you are using. But also, most important, Madam Speaker, we have a budget that has officially been referred to us that is being proposed. These particular taxes, you are looking to raise about 150 billion. But in the budget that we are handling, you have 162 billion for donation. Last week we were donating money to Magora. Really, you need to be sympathetic to taxpayers. That for you keep imposing charges one after another. So the proposal is that we do away with the tax on petrol and diesel. But also, as I mentioned when I presented the report, this country has a deficit.
I am also going to bring a proposal on removal of some expenditure.
So Madam Speaker, in the report that I presented here, this country has a deficit of 2.5 million houses. We should be reducing taxes on building material. You cannot be imposing further taxes. So and then drinking water. That you in the government, you want to impose a further tax on drinking water. So the proposal, Madam Speaker, is that we recommit and have these matters deleted.
Right Honorable Speaker,
I have not put a question.
No, I just wanted to make a clarification, especially on the materials, building materials. Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I am putting a question. You first sit. Sechi. Honorable members, I want you people, one, I'm putting a question, whether we should recommit and delete those taxes. But, and then, if you're in support of deleting, you say aye. If, of recommittal. If you are not in support of recommittal and move as it is, by the way, I'm in the third reading. You say nay. Sarah, I am putting my questions. I am also gender. The person speaking is gender. Honorable members, I want you people to understand one thing. Whatever we are doing has an implication on this country. And tomorrow, as we pass this budget, as it affects both you and me and everybody outside there. Tomorrow we should not be able to come here that the floods have swept Bukedea, or we should also not bring, we should not also bring bailouts. We should also not bring bailouts. Listen. I am guiding. I am guiding, I'm not debating. And I want to remind you people, I'm a member of Parliament of Bukedea. Honorable members, as we do all this, what Honorable Semuju is saying, that much as we are doing this, you should not also come for bailouts that are not justifiable. That's what he's saying. But at the same time, we also have to be mindful. Luboa is working. They're working. We should also be mindful of the services that we need to provide to our people down there. The hospitals, the roads, and whichever. I put a question. Tika, you are not... I put a question that Kilo 3 be recommitted as proposed by Honorable Semuju. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The nays have it.
Bill third reading, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024.
Honorable Minister, what are you standing for?
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the third time and do pass. Okay, I have finished.
I put a question that the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024 be read a third time and do pass. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Excise Duty Amendment Act 2024.
The title is settled and the bill is passed.
Item 7, Bill second reading, the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023.
This is Uganda.
First. First. Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2023 be read for the second time.
It is 2023. Yes. No, it is 2023. No, 2023. We are correcting all the others. Honorable members, what the bill that has just been read is correcting the cycle, the accounting cycle. And that's why it is Appropriation Bill 2023. Yes, is it seconded? Is the bill seconded? Seconded by Finance, Sports, Karamoja Affairs, Honorable Tinka. Honorable Tinka, you tell your neighbor to stand. Pius, Afande, Mpindi, Aru, Agriculture, and all the ministers. Thank you. Would you speak to your bill?
Madam Speaker.
Even Honorable Kavuma and Elwelo and Harriet. And you're not in uniform. Yes?
Madam Speaker, the bill seeks to provide supplementary appropriation out of the consolidated fund under Article 156(3) of the Constitution and Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 of a sum of 2 trillion.
There is a procedure matter from Lee.
Madam Speaker, thank you. We are listening to an appropriation bill which, according to our rules, should have been uploaded, and we are not seeing that document the minister is referring to.
It was uploaded on 27th of March.
So is the system down? Because we are trying to access
you
that.
You just see there. There, it is there. Even the fiscal copies are there.
Our FESCO, maybe you could, Madam, you could guide, because we are not able to access it here at all.
Please pick the hard copy from your pigeonhole. There's a hard copy there. Please. IT, can you help the member? Yes. And it has a minority report.
Madam Speaker, the bill seeks to provide the supplementary appropriations out of the consolidated fund under Article 156(3) of the Constitution and Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 of the sum of Uganda shillings 2 trillion 963 billion 131 million 525,000 only to meet additional expenditure for financial year 2022-2023. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair and the House. Before I present the report on the Committee on Budget on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. As we continue, in order for us not to be faulted, as per Section 58 of the Public Finance Management Act, the way we've got now the bill, we are processing it, can we also have a warrant of the Auditor General such that all is well concerning what we are about to appropriate? Thank you. Let it also be uploaded. You are getting money from the petroleum fund, and it requires.
No. Honorable members, we need to understand what we are saying before we say it. This is for last financial year. We are completing the accounting cycle. This is the supplementaries of the previous financial years. Mugole. You know, Honorable, when I hear you saying is it provided for, at the end of the financial year, you crown all what you have passed in the supplementaries into one law. And that is what we are doing. We are not getting out all the schedules. We are not getting out even one single shilling. We are only putting all what we passed together in one schedule. So we are closing the financial year of the supplementaries. So that we open another one, which will come immediately after appropriation.
Madam Chair, if you read section 25, 3% shall be approved by Parliament through a supplementary appropriation bill. My understanding is when the minister brings such a bill, we are not just going to correct things, we are actually approving expenditure beyond what we already approved. So you need to guide us if we are merely correcting or we are, because the other expenditures we approved through such a process. And this is a similar process like the other. So how is it used to correct figures? That will be a very peculiar case. I would want to understand it properly.
By the way, we are not correcting figures. Honorable Minister, go ahead.
Madam Speaker, Section 25 Madam Speaker, Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015, as amended, provides for supplementary expenditure or appropriations. Madam Speaker, every financial year, we pass supplementaries through schedules. We have schedule number 1, where we normally bring supplementary expenditures within the 3%, and then the subsequent schedules follow. What happens when the year closes? We consolidate all these schedules into an act, which act into a bill for an act. So why we are here, Madam Speaker, is to, not performing a ceremony, to seek Parliament to regularize what we passed.
It is to comply with the law.
We are here to comply with the law by regularizing what we already passed in Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 of that financial year 2022-2023. In other words, the figures are the same. You can as well get the schedule, reconcile the figures. They are all the same. We are not changing anything. And this bill is not seeking new money or anything. It is just seeking to comply with Section 25.
And you find why there is a proposed amendment by the committee on some clauses is it is a correction because there are some requests that were rejected and did not come as they were. That is what they are doing.
And also
Madam
there are
Speaker,
other minor errors,
Madam Speaker,
transposition
some of
errors
those
and others
schedules
which
we
were
already
corrected.
approved. Some we already approved have not been expended by the minister. So I wanted to understand, does your proposed bill,
Which one? Which one?
for example, their monies were approved in the supplementary expenditure and they have not been released to MDAs. And what is it that we are going to approve minus those monies?
Well, honorable members, can I make a request that let's first get a report from the chair. The report will inform us of what we are doing, because some of us may not understand what it is. You give us a report, then the shadow will give us a report, and we... Patrick, let's first get a report, then you bring your matter.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, we are dealing with a matter where we need further guidance, especially by the law. Just pushing us to understand may not help so much. We go to the law, and they tell us that in Schedule 1, we passed this amount of money, and the MDAs received the money. We passed the supplementaries here, MDAs never received the money, and we are here compounding just a total where it is not even provided for in the law. Can you, Attorney General, first take us to the law? How do we deal with that?
Honorable Kotogong is saying it is the first time. You know, you are always in South Africa. It is the first time you are here when we are passing a budget. Is a lead of delegation is always the other side. But we have always compounded at the end of the financial year. And if you have done, we've always done that. We are making a bill for an act of the supplementaries that were made, that were passed in the financial year. But it raises a pertinent issue that how come that we are doing this and yet some monies have not been released? So we need to confirm which monies have not been released, which MDAs have not got their monies, and yet we pass them in the supplementaries.
Right, Honorable Speaker, that may be a bit dangerous to yeah, let me finish. Because you can't say no to something you don't know. You see, like we do the appropriation bill every year. It has figures that have been appropriated by Parliament, for which the Committee of Parliament will, at the end of the financial year, review to determine what was done and what was not done. Now, if Parliament approved a supplementary budget and it has figures A, B, C, D, those must go into their supplementary appropriations bill. Whether they were expended or not, it is not for the Parliament now to start doing a reconciliation. But
and that's why he said no, because my issue was we may need to find out what it is, so that we make a follow-up. That does not stop us from going ahead with getting the bill. But we need to make sure that you have to release the monies. If there are money, if they are there that have not been released.
Madam Speaker, we are dealing with an appropriation which expired at 30th June 2023. So the issue of release
a problem that
does not apply in this case.
The problem you're making is, honorable members, this is 2022-2023 financial year.
So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think what's important now is for the committee to receive the report, to consolidate this into the bill, to confirm that indeed this is what Parliament did pass at the time.
Thank you. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to lay the minutes of the Committee of Budget with regard to this particular appropriation bill.
Please lay.
This is a report of the Committee of Budget on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 was introduced to this House for the first reading on the 28th of March 2024 in accordance with the Article 156 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995. The bill was referred to the Committee on Budget in accordance with Rule 153(4) of Rules of Procedure of the Parliament of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, during the implementation of the budget for the financial year 2022-2023, the government sought additional resources and reallocations to meet the expenditure requirements. One supplementary schedule, including addenda thereto, was laid before Parliament in accordance with the provisions of Article 156(3) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 as amended. This schedule, therefore, was considered by the Budget Committee and subsequently approved by Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg that you permit me to present to you a report of the Committee on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023. And the object of this bill is to provide for supplementary appropriation out of the consolidated fund in accordance with Article 156(2) and 3 of the Constitution and Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 as amended, a sum of 2,963,131,525,000 shillings only to meet additional expenditure for the financial year 2022-2023. Colleagues and Right Honorable Speaker, Article 156(2) and 3 of the Constitution provides as follows: 2. That if in respect of any financial year it is found, A, that the amount appropriated for any purpose under the Appropriation Act is insufficient, or that a need has arisen for expenditure for a purpose for which no amount had been appropriated by that Act, or B, that any monies have been expended for any purpose in excess of the amount appropriated for that purpose, or for a purpose for which no amount had been appropriated by that Act, a supplementary estimate showing the sums required or spent shall be laid down before Parliament, and in the case of excess expenditure, within 4 months after the money is spent. 3. Where in respect of any financial year, a supplementary estimate or supplementary estimates have been approved by Parliament in accordance with Clause 2 of this article, a supplementary appropriation bill shall be introduced into Parliament in the financial year next following the financial year to which the estimates relate, providing for the appropriation of the sum so approved for the purpose of specified in those estimates. Section 25 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 as amended provides as follows. 25.1 that the total supplementary expenditure that requires additional resources over and above what is approved by Parliament shall not exceed 3% of the total approved budget for that financial year without approval of Parliament. Madam Speaker, during the implementation of the budget for the financial year 2022-23, government sought additional resources to meet its expenditure requirements as follows. On the 23rd of December 2022, the Minister of Finance, Plan and Economic Development laid before Parliament a supplementary expenditure estimates Schedule 1 for financial year 22-23 amounting to 2.387 trillion. Furthermore, the Minister also laid an addendum 1 and 2 to the supplementary Schedule 1 amounting to 33.851 billion and 13.479 billion respectively on the 2nd of March 2023. In addition, the Minister laid addendum 3 to supplementary Schedule number 1 of the financial year 2022-23 amounting to 38.85 billion on the 22nd of March 2023. An addendum number 4 amounting to 499 billion on the 30th of March 2023. In total, out of the above, the total of, from the all of, sum of the above is Uganda shillings 1,434 billion, which was within the 3% legal limit. That's what the committee found out. Madam Speaker and colleagues, the committee held consultative meetings with the Minister of Finance. We received the supplementary expenditure schedules 1 as laid before the House, addenda, the resolutions of Parliament authorizing the expenditure, and these are the committee's observations and recommendations. Madam Speaker, inconsistencies in recurrent expenditures. The committee noted inconsistencies between the figures appearing under votes, namely votes 018 and 932, with what was approved by Parliament as indicated in the table below. Vote 018, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. Whereas Parliament approved 3,718,892 shillings, the Supplementary Appropriation Bill captured 7,594,719,000, and that introduced a variation of an excess, an additional 4,118 shillings. Under vote 932, Tororo District, whereas the committee had approved 5,276,514 shillings, 435 shillings, 414,435 shillings. The appropriation bill had 5,267,514,000, and it was less by 9,435 shillings. Inconsistency in the development expenditures. There were also inconsistencies between the figures appearing under vote 701 and vote 703 with what was approved by Parliament as indicated in the table below. Vote 701, Apache Municipal Council. Whereas Parliament approved 3,897,379,041 shillings, the appropriation bill had 879,893,000. It was a variation of, it was less by 17,486,041 shillings. Vote 703, Bushenyi Ishaka Municipal Council. Parliament had not provided or approved any money, but there was supplementary in the supplementary appropriation bill, 17,486,000 was introduced, and that was not approved by Parliament. So, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, as illustrated by the tables above, the committee notes that the supplementary appropriation bill contains amounts expended in respect of some votes, contrary to what was approved by Parliament. This is contrary to Article 156.3 that provides that the supplementary appropriation bill shall provide for the appropriation of the sums so approved by Parliament and for the purposes specified in those estimates. The committee further notes that the entire column 2 of the schedule to the bill contains amounts expended to all votes by rounding off the figures to the nearest 1,000, contrary to the actual figures that were not rounded off, which were approved by Parliament. Madam Speaker, the committee has put as Annex 1 and 2 a comparison of the figures contained in the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 and the figures contained in the resolution of Parliament and are attached as Annex 1 and Annex 2. In conclusion, Madam Speaker and colleagues, the committee recommends that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 be passed into law subject to the proposed amendments below.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Honorable. The minority, I thought we were getting the minority first.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Because of the nature of the bill that we are dealing with, you will notice that whether it's the committee report, whether it's the minister's talking points, they are all short. I may not want to say it the way it is, but actually we're just performing a ceremony. This money we passed it.
Postmortem.
This money we passed it, but the law says you, because you did an Appropriations Act, any additional funding you do an act like you did. So, Madam Speaker, the minority report is 1 page and a half. Some of the information is just to bring it to the attention of Parliament. I don't have to repeat the figures that the chair has given that makes that a total. But just to refresh your mind, honorable members, you remember when we are dealing with this supplementary budget, this is when government spent money on Munyonyo and came back here. And that money was approved by Parliament, unfortunately. Yeah, that is my opinion. You have yours. Again, there was also money for ATIAC in these supplementary requests, which was also approved by Parliament. So the point of dissent, the first one is on non-compliance with the law. The Public Finance Management Act makes it a requirement that every bill presented to Parliament shall be accompanied by a certificate of financial implication. This bill does not have a certificate of financial implication. This certificate under Section 76 of this Act states that the certificate shall indicate the estimates of revenue and expenditure over a period not less than 2 years after the coming into effect of the bill when passed. There was an attempt, okay, let me read. The bill has a commencement date as July 1st, 2022. There was an attempt in the committee to say that since this is a postmortem, you don't need it, but it has a commencement date. The certificate shall indicate the impact of the bill on the economy. This in simple terms means total amount to be spent on implementation of the law and expected revenue. In this case, if you have foregone any amount, this Parliament should recall that this supplementary was financed through borrowing of 1 trillion from domestic financial institutions. Billion 698 was expected from World Bank. 587 billion, I beg your pardon there, from URA. I therefore think that Parliament should have been briefed, and that's the matter that MPs earlier spoke about, just to be briefed. It's not a requirement, but it should have been briefed on the money you went to borrow. Did you borrow? Did you spend it? And then finally, Madam Speaker, when you look at the report of the Auditor General on the same financial year, the Auditor General has a different figure of the total supplementary budget, which is 4.4 trillion. That's on page 19. So can the Minister help us as we move to perform this function, whether we may not need a reconciliation with what Auditor General. And the reason I'm saying this, all the reports that are brought here by Minister of Finance, they are actually conflicting with the Auditor General. When they brought a report on the public debt, they said the total public debt is 84 trillion. The Auditor General says 97. So don't we need a reconciliation to be sure that as we close that financial year, we are actually using the right figure? Because that's, if the minister doesn't have, I can give him pages of the Auditor General. So, Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you so much. Auditor General. Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honourable Honourable Sechku. Thank you very much, Honourable Semuju. The comments are well received. I think the only, while the points you raise are important for the Public Accounts Committee and the Committee of the House that deals with scrutinizing the budget estimates and how they have worked to look at these, we need to be careful not to mix up appropriation and budget, because government may have a budget, a plan, and say I want to spend 20 trillion, for example, but Parliament only appropriates 2 trillion. Then that means the other part which was not appropriated by Parliament was not actually dealt with. So while we take that point strictly, I think today we need to address our mind to the monies that were appropriated by Parliament. And the committee has said very well that yes, what was appropriated by Parliament is the only thing that should go into the bill. And that is what is important. Beg to submit.
Madam Speaker, I just want to the Attorney General to help. You are talking of a supplementary of 2022-23. That account was closed and the Auditor General has audited. I want us to start from there. The Auditor General has audited. The report is already in the House. Now, what is this supplementary you're bringing when the financial year is closed? No, that's appropriation bill. Why you see, the Auditor General was given appropriation, which he issued a warrant, which he has audited, and he has produced the accounts. Now you are coming again for another appropriation, which you want the Auditor General to give a warrant and audit. Which accounts is he going to call this time?
I think here what the member raised is actually important, and I've taken note of that, and Honourable Semju also raised it. I think there is a need to tweak the law a little bit, because what we are doing here is what the law says. The Public Finance Management Act requires, Section 25 requires us to have a supplementary appropriations bill. Only difference, it did not tell us when. And I think what is important is for us to put the when in the law on this.
Madam Speaker, the Auditor General audits the appropriation. What you are bringing now, if we appropriate, who is going to audit? And if it's the Auditor General, he's going to name it which year, which financial year.
Honorable Nathan, I want to refer you to Article 156, 156(2)(a). If in respect of any financial year, it is found that the amount appropriated for any purpose under Appropriation Act is insufficient, or that there is need as reason for expenditure for the purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by that act, or that any monies have been expended by any purpose in excess of the amount appropriated for that purpose, or for purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by the Act. A supplementary estimate showing the sum required or spent shall be laid down before Parliament in the excess of excess expenditure within 4 months after the money has been spent.
Madam
Which
Speaker,
we have been doing.
Madam Speaker, that's why whatever you're bringing is within the year, exactly under 4 years. For example now, Madam Speaker, you have read the Constitution is very clear and the PFM. What it says
You know what they have been bringing is a schedule. Now we are bringing in a bill to consolidate all of them. Consolidate them and have an act once it is assented to.
Right,
Yes,
Honourable Speaker.
Madam Speaker, you have actually guided right that if you read Article 56(3), Article 56(3), 156, it actually allows for that appropriation bill to be brought in the next financial year, which is okay. But the fundamental question here is, was that money actually spent? I think that is the fundamental question the minister must address us on, so that what we are going to approve must be the money which was spent, because now
And
the financial year has passed. So we are doing both accountability and the action of approving.
Honorable members, that's what you ought to do during your oversight role. That's why we have committees, and it is the Auditor General who is supposed to find out whether there is money spent or unspent funds. That one is something that we should be able to handle.
You are right. That's our job. And the reason why
Honorable members,
framers said-
before we first go far, I have visitors here who want to go away. In the public gallery, this afternoon. No, I have a guest, a delegation from Bukedia district, represented by Honorable Ikojo, Honorable Polot. Where are you? Stand up. From the district, and Honorable Anita Among. You're most welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Deamuko is there. Thank you so much for coming. And they are here to observe the proceedings. Honorable members, we also have a delegation of leaders from Busongora County, South Kasese. Where are you? They are there. They are represented by Honorable Thembo Gideon Mujungu and Honorable Florence. They include Kananura John Bosco, LOC3. Welcome. Kachanchu Bald, that's the speaker. Birunji Powell, secretary. Bagonza John, youth leader. Hane Roberts, Baronsi, Bridget, and Asime Frank. Kaheru Robert and Katege Robert. You're most welcome. Thank you so much for coming. The certificate of financial implication that we've just gotten out of the library is here, which was raised by who? By Honorable Semujo Lee. Please go ahead.
Madam Speaker, I want to make this clear. The commitment of the budget is section 15 of the PFM, and this will be clear showing the cash flow of government, which is based on procurement plans, work plans, and recruitment plans approved by Parliament. And under 17, the expiry of appropriation. It says every appropriation by Parliament shall expire and cease to have an effect at the close of the financial year for which it is made. At close of each financial for which it is made. And Madam Speaker, a vote that does not expend money that was appropriated, the vote for the financial at the close of financial, they pay the money to the consolidated fund. And they say a vote that repays money under subsection shall revise the annual plan. This is now the process. So Madam Speaker, what I'm trying to raise, if the law says 4 months to lay it before the House, and because before anything, a supplementary we must approve, that means 4 months. If this was presented on 30th, I'm just giving an example.
4 months is for the schedule. The bill is for in the next financial year, subsequent year.
That's what I'm saying, Madam Chair. And Madam Chair, if the schedule, there's always an appropriation for it. And the appropriation, we want to say, this one, the Attorney General presented it on 30th June of 2023. It means 4 months should have been on the 30th November 2023. That means that's the time when the Auditor General would have really looked at it, so that when he issues the report on 31st December 2023, this thing would have been taken care of. And why we're raising this, you're bringing an appropriation at the time when the Auditor General, who gives a warrant, has got to put outside the accounts. And I say, Attorney General, if there's a problem in the law, you must deal with it. Because these things you're raising are very dangerous, and the accounts are closed. And for me, I want the Auditor General.
There's information from your young brother. No, Masawa is a very brilliant boy.
I'm just trying to give my senior, he's my senior, and I'm still learning from him some information. What he's raising is quite pertinent, but remember, the Auditor General's year ends in December.
Yes.
And what we are looking at is supposed to be handled in the next financial year, which is this financial year. Actually, what we are doing here is more of a postmortem. There is nothing we can change. So we are just consolidating, adding all the schedules and putting them into one bill. No, I'm trying to explain.
No, let Masaba finish.
Let me finish.
Let Masaba finish.
Let me finish.
Let Masaba finish.
When you look at like the figures we've raised, the likes of money going to Munyonyo, where the money was spent, and whatever was not spent was taken back, was swept away to the consolidated fund. So what we're actually doing is just adding the totals and putting it into one bill. I think there is nothing more we can do to change this unless it is us to propose to amend the law ourselves. But what we are doing is a done.
This young man has a bright future.
No, Madam Chair.
Honorable members.
Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, before you rule.
Honorable members.
I want to make a correction. Looking for the accounts of 2024. We are looking for the financial year 2022-24, which ended on the 30th.
23.
Yes.
22-23.
That's what we're saying. 22-23, which ended on 30th June 2023. The Auditor General, the one that the younger man is raising, is basically when the Auditor General is supposed to submit the audit report. The audit report was submitted on 31st December 2023. So I wanted to help the younger man to know the figure the years. What we're raising
is okay.
So the younger man, this information is a misinformation.
Thank
no
you.
great future.
Honorable members, I put a question that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 be read the second time. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023, Bills Committee stage.
Honorable Nathan Nandala, Honorable Nathan, first come back. The young man is learning from you. He's learning. Clause 1.
Clause 1.
I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Schedule.
I put a question. You have a...
Madam Chair, amendment of the schedule, column 1 of the schedule on recurrent expenditure. The committee proposes to amend column 1 of the schedule by replacing the words financial year 2020/2021 with the financial year 2022/2023 in the following votes. Votes 005, 112, 114, 115, 117, 165, 302, 303, and 306. Justification is to correct an error as this supplementary appropriation bill relates to the supplementary expenditure estimates for the financial year 2022-2023. 2, Madam Chair, also to amend column 1 of the schedule by replacing the words financial year 2018-2019 with the financial year 2022/2023 in the following votes. Votes 010 and vote 414. Justification is to correct an error as this supplementary appropriation bill relates to supplementary expenditure estimates for financial year 2022 and 2023.
Minister.
Madam Chair, I agree with the committee.
Thank you. I put a question that the schedule be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The schedule as amended.
I put a question that the schedule as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
Madam Chair, amendment of schedule on column 2 to replace the entire column 2 of the schedule to the bill with amounts contained in Annex A attached. Justification is to align the figures indicated in the bill with the actual figures that were approved by Parliament. I beg to move.
Thank you. And since we had already put a question, the Hansard should be able to pick all the figures that have been mentioned here and include it. Yeah. So the people drafting will include it. Title.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House do resume and the Committee of the Whole House reports there too.
I put a question that the House does resume and the Committee of the Whole House reports there too. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the bill entitled the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2023 and passed it with amendments.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of the Whole House be adopted.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of the Whole House be adopted by this House. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Bill's third reading, the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023.
I beg to move that the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2023 be read for the third time and do pass.
I put a question that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023.
Title settled and the bill passed. Congratulations. Honorable members, we will suspend the House for 2 hours. 2 hours, that's what time? We'll be back at 3:30. Honorable Nathan, don't forget to come back to the House, and members be around. This time I'm going to count the members who are around, and then I will act in another way. Thank you.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk